Okay, here goes again. I seem to have messed up. My picture card did not have enough in it. So this is video number 3, demonstrating my way of creating a poured paint piece. So last video stopped when I was putting on the white paint, which is just regular house paint. So if you're not sure what I'm using, go back to the first video and check it out. And I'm just putting some paint on the surface, and hopefully there's enough there for it to start floating nicely when I start tilting. I'm hoping you're still seeing what I'm doing, because I haven't checked for the angle. And please guys, remember, say this is an amateur trying to do a videotape to share the process of just doing a really nice relaxing paint pour as a pastime. Now one thing about paint, when you mix it up or you shake up the bottle, you're gonna get air bubbles in it. So please make sure you have some sort of a torch to just get rid of those air bubbles. Good. We've been through what I'm using already, but very, very quickly. I'm using very basic paints, and I'm using gold, cobalt blue, tropical green, and deep turquoise in this brand, and a touch of Americana neon blue. My Select activator is Daler-Rowney System 3 titanium white paint with Floetrol added to dilute it. And I think that's about it. Oh, the mixative for these paints, I poured in 5 ounces of base, a paint base. You know the stuff that they use when you go to the shop and you say, I want this color. So they take up a tin and they put your color into it and they mix it. Right, I'm using the base that's used to mix paints. So I've used 10 ounces of the base and 5 ounces of polyacrylic, and just put them into a Gatorade bottle and stir them around. So that's what's mixed into the paints. So here goes. Try number 2. Remember, there's a video prior to this that showed the things I was using. And as I did with the last one, I am going to start off with the last little bit of my gold paint. Notice the paint has to be a little bit gloopy. Sorry, I don't know no other word for it but gloopy. And I'm going to start with gold and then put some of that cobalt blue on top of it, because the combination seems to work quite nicely actually. The colors you put on the bottom are going to probably be more pronounced than the colors that you put on top. But gold and metallics as a whole have a habit of disappearing anyway. So I'm just giving you that heads up so you know what you're doing next when you decide that you're going to try this same experimenting. And then of course the deep turquoise, my absolute favorite color. Well, blue is my favorite color, but that turquoise is just reminiscent of the sea right out at Rum Point here in Grand Cayman. The beautiful blues of the water in the Caribbean cannot be under-described. You have to come to the Caribbean and see and experience it for yourself. They're just amazing. And having grown up in Britain and then come to Cayman and Jamaica, blown away, man, blown away. You must come and visit us. So here goes, making sure there are no air bubbles there. And then I'm now going to put in my cell activator, which is the Floetrol and the titanium white paint. And I think I'm going to get the name the Messy Painter, because boy, I blow this paint and the paint goes everywhere. It's all over my tripod right now. But what the heck, I'm trying a thing, and I just want to make sure that you can see, and then you can experiment for yourself. So let me just spread this out a little bit more. It just seemed to have a ridge right there, so I'm just trying to smooth it out a little bit more. And again, I've added paint, so guess what? Bubbles are going to be in there. So burst those bubbles before I start. And there's one on the gold right there. And now for the fun part, blowing out the paint. So I have not centered this one because I'm hoping that having it further up on the canvas, I'll get better cell development. So fingers crossed, here goes. Okay. Turn it around to go down the other side. I may have overdone it, but that's me. Never half measures with anything. So, the suggestion is that you leave it to rest a little bit and allow for the cells to develop. But again, there is already some evidence of bubbles in it, so keep vigilant and get rid of those air bubbles when you see them, because when it dries, you're going to end up with white spots where the unburst bubbles have risen to the surface. So always remember, get rid of those air bubbles if you spot them, because they will change slightly what the final effect or outcome is. Now I'm not seeing as much cell development as I did in the one with the video that did not happen, but who knows what will happen. I remain optimistic, and as I said, it's about fun, it's about relaxation. It's not about proving yourself to anybody, because that's not what art really is, you know. Once you get past, I'm going to be a famous artist and I'm going to make enough money, that isn't how it works, guys. Some people, yeah, they get the lucky straws, but guess what? For me, it is the sheer exhilaration of creating something new and the relaxation that it brings to your mind and your spirit. You can't have any worries, you know, when you're painting, you know? As Bob Marley said, don't worry about a thing. Me no worry when me a paint. So, here goes. Wish me luck, guys. I'm going to go down first and let the paint move at its own pace. And then bring it right back up and settle it. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction, because I suspect that I'm going to get better cell development at this end than at the other, because I'm seeing more cells up this side. So let's get some over the edge there. Hope I'm not out of the camera range. If you can't see it, you have to tell me, you know. And get that right down there. Bring some of the white paint up to keep it flowing, and then stop and bring it back to the middle. See it there, moving back towards the middle. And while it moves, hopefully some more will stretch out. Going to rest it for a moment to make sure that it's as level as possible. And then I'm going to turn it around and stretch from this side. So here we go again. Watching the paint move downwards, and I'm going to tilt it in the opposite direction because I'm getting a lot of lines on one side, which I don't really want. I'm more interested in the cells stretching than the lines developing. So again, move it back to the center. Each time you move it back to the center, it helps the cells that have developed to stretch that much further. All right? Okay. I think I'm going to move it down towards this side this time now. So here we go. Easy does it. And I think those cells are becoming a little bit too constricted for my liking, so I'm going to stop again and bring it back to the center. Sorry, this amateur video thing, it nah do nothing for me at the moment. I feel like I'm sort of failing on that score, but guess what? It's a learning experience for both of us, so I have to try a thing, no? Alright. And my cat seems to be wanting to join in the fun, but I'm going to have to ignore Kitty right now because Kitty can't do none of this for me. Right, let me make sure that I've got this back where you can see it. And this time I'm just going to let it run. Right way down. Okay, and bring it back to the middle. Sorry you're seeing the messy end of it, but I need to watch it move. Okay, there we go. And I'm now going to bring it over to this side. And stretch out some of those bits that are all squashed together. See if we can get some nice widening of those lines and see some cells pop out in them as well. So here goes. Fingers crossed. Because I don't really like marbling, and I think marbling is something that you do in primary school with little teeny weeny kiddies. I think at this point in my stage in my life, I'm a little bit beyond doing marbling, and instead need to do something that's a bit more challenging. Okay, again, bring it back towards the middle. I've got to do this before the paint itself stops moving as well. But it's looking pretty good, if I say so myself. I hope you can tell me whether it looks good or not though, because your opinion does matter. I could be here wasting my time talking to a camera and nobody will ever look on these videos. So wanna talk to me, give me a few likes if you like what you see, and share it if you like it, and subscribe. Hit subscribe button on the bottom if you like it, and then it'll encourage me to do some more. I'm not here for the money, guys. I'm just here for the fun and for sharing what I am learning, because I think we're a little bit selfish in the world nowadays, and we need to get back to sharing and caring for one another and helping us all do things that are of benefit to our brothers and sisters, because we don't live in this world alone, you know. And it's really important for me to reach out to other people. I've been a teacher for nearly 40 years, so I've been doing that all of my working life, but the art part, I haven't really shared it with very many people. So this is my attempt in 2020 to correct that. And I think I'm just about done. I hope you like it. Don't think it's come out too badly. And I don't know how well you'll see it when I bring it up a bit closer, but my tripod is getting covered in paint. But here's a quick look for you before too much paint gets on the tripod. Right, I now need to get these gloves off and see if I can give you a close-up before I finish with this video. But Lord, it's pretty, sir.